What got me into goth? What got you into goth? What is the meaning of life? Welcome to By Candlelight, beaming goth, dark wave and post-punk straight into your brain. You should feel like a tingling there. That's perfectly normal, it will pass. Today it's a big question. What got me into goth? I'm especially interested to hear from you two on this one. Not the band U2, I meant you guys, obviously. Everyone will have a different story, so this could get very interesting. For me, it was a number of elements. Firstly, it was not wanting to fit in aesthetically from a very early age. So this is purely concerned with external image and appearance. I hadn't discovered goth at all at this point. I just knew that I didn't want to look like the mainstream. I remember that thought and that feeling really vividly. So I'm not saying that I didn't fit in, I just didn't want to. It was almost like I was looking for my crew, my gang, but I didn't know what that was. It was only when I heard a choice collection of tracks that I began to join the dots. And they were Moonchild by the Nephilim, Charlotte Sometimes by The Cure, Something I Can Never Have by Nin, Sanctum Sanctorum by The Damned, Love Me to Death by The Mission, and Lucretia by The Sisters. Those 6 tracks, both musically and lyrically, connected that feeling of wanting to be different to a subculture that would fulfill that. The best way I can describe it is having this internal, so that's what I am realization. It was a relief and a joy to discover a lifestyle that matched who you were. Saying all of that, my external aesthetic commitment to goth was very much sporadic. Not that it's about external appearances at all. My choice of work, at least in the early days, prevented me from fully committing to the goth aesthetic, and I certainly wouldn't do the goth makeup thing. Even now, I only do it for these vids, or if I'm going out to a themed club or bar or Whitby. I wouldn't do it to go out and buy some margarine or some towels. Another aspect was a romantic appreciation of graveyards. I know that sounds cliched, but I care not. My mates thought it was morbid, but it wasn't to me. It wasn't like depressing or anything like that. You guys know what I mean. In fact, this led on to an appreciation of just the darker aspects of life. I'll be honest and say that often wearing the outfit enabled me to be more of who I was because it made sense to the world. So people were able to look at me and go, oh, he's like that because he's a goth. Lots of goths hate being called goth, but I didn't mind it and I still don't. Moving on, architecture was and is a fascination. This is not exclusively a goth thing, but any kind of Gothic architecture would hit me smack bang in the feels. I'd be out and about and I would just notice a historic structure and I'd just be drawn to it like a moth to a historic building. And a flame, obviously. I definitely have a vision, although call it more an objective, of owning a historic, stately home with huge windows, billowing curtains, in a thunderstorm, with Sanctum Sanctorum by The Damned blasting out. Who doesn't? So there are lots of elements that steered me into the path of an oncoming goth juggernaut. It's not just about the internal or the external. And it's not just about the music, it's about looking at the world in a different way. Does any of this ring true for you? Can you remember the moment you got into goth? Or was it a gradual process? Can you remember the track that started it all for you? Would you put eyeliner on to go and get margarine? If so, could you pick up a pack for me, please? Let me know in the usual place. Until next time, see you later.